Hello. My name is Heather Aston, and this is my channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures. If this is the first time you stumbled across one of my videos in this little part of the World Wide Web, we all know as YouTube, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you'll find this video informative and entertaining enough that you will want to hit that subscribe button and change the notification bell to all so that you never miss the release of one of my videos in the future. If you're a returning viewer, otherwise known as my treasure, so happy to see you guys. Thank you for being here for me video after video after video. Our community is growing and I couldn't be more excited. So if you all wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button and maybe leave me a comment afterwards and let me know what you thought of today's video and if there's anything you'd like to see in the future. Okay, I don't have my lip gloss on yet. Not that you'll be able to see it much because I don't know what happened to my other one. And this is the clothes, all the things. I was sitting here sorting out my second bead box into all the areas. I'm not sure if I was muted the entire 30 seconds at the beginning. If not, you heard a lot of clamoring around. But I'm so excited because, as I said, our community is growing day by day, and I couldn't be happier. Sorry, I don't want to lose these little pieces because they're gorgeous. So, and I couldn't be happier. So Saturday night, my live, I would like to do kind of a little round robin of the different designers within our community, where we have you on for a few minutes. You kind of give a Reader's Digest version of your jewelry journey. We show off some of your pieces and share all of your details, such as your YouTube channel, your Etsy shop, your Facebook group, your I don't know, all the things. Okay. It'll be a virtual link tree or linked or whatever that is. I don't use it. And just let all of the newer members of our community know that there are many other very talented designers within our community. I'm hoping that your show doesn't run late, Rosanna, because I'd love to have you on and include you in all of that. Sorry. Like I said, I was sitting here sorting out my second bead box, watching the clock, everything's going great, and all of a sudden I had to use the restroom. So I feel a bit rushed and so I'm gonna woosah for just a second and say hello to all of you beautiful ladies. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Willow. Welcome back. Hello, Heather. Hello, Leah and Mary. I think that's all for right now, but that's okay. We did get news today that another designer is going to be taking this time slot right along, at the same time as me. I'll still be here, but all of you that still want to join me and support me, I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to go and watch the other lady, give me a little watch on preview. Sorry, I have a smudge that will not come off my glasses for some reason. There we go. Okay, speaking of glasses, we were talking during Rosanna's live about some of the eye issues we have. Even if you don't wear makeup, this oil-free eye makeup remover by Neutrogena is amazing for getting rid of the little crunchies we get in our eye or on our face. It's oil free, but it's very soft and silky, and it really does help. And then you're not like using a washcloth, which can be abrasive. A little bit of this on a washcloth or a cotton pad will do you wonders. I promise you. So it'll be good. Colleen has decided that she is going to go live the same time as me. So it's a bit of a bummer, mostly just because I try to respect everybody, but I also am excited for her and I wish her the best. I know that it's been something she's been thinking about for a long time. So I'm happy to hear that she's at a place where she can do that now. So I am excited for her, like I said. And if she wanted to come on to talk about it and let people know like what she's gonna do, she's more than welcome. So I really would like to have as many designers on with all their information ahead of time. So I'm going to send out a message to a few of them privately, but if any of you guys would like to come on, you do not have to have a YouTube channel to come on. You can come on, show off some of your designs, share your Etsy site, whatever. So I want to make sure that everybody knows. I'm glad to be stuck with all of you. Mwah. I'm happy. But I want you guys to know. So if you stick with me, you can go watch her on replay. So, or vice versa. Either one. We're good. There was something else I was going to talk about and I forget. Oh, yeah. Anyways, if any of you guys are interested in coming on, reach out to me on Messenger or on like Beading Besties or wherever in the community group. I'm going to put something up in there after I'm done today. Literally, I just want to show off you beautiful ladies and the talented and how talented you guys all are as much as I can. And to kind of, like I said, introduce some of the newer members to our channel, to the other designers in our community. For those of you who had to duck out early last night, which is fine. I did start an hour later than normal. You guys are going to have to let me know if you like that or if you prefer the earlier time on Wednesdays. I know you like the later time on Saturday nights, but whatever. But you guys will know if you were on and popped off that I was trying to figure out how I was going to connect these. And then I was like, oh my gosh, the red jasper. And then quite a few of you stuck with me as I racked the red Heishi links. I love it. The black and gold Amazonite, all those different shades, the blues and greens and golds and everything with those red jasper Heishis, like, oh my gosh. And it makes me proud to be born here in this beautiful, beautiful era. Sorry if I didn't hold it up long enough. I can put it back on here. I just kind of popped it up. But yes, I'm very happy with it. I love the way that it turned out. We taught how to do the little spiral on the bottom to get a loop through a pendant. That's one way of doing so. I got bead caps in my second box, so I'm excited about that. I was really excited that this blast from the past kind of helped. This box is hitting all the feels with me, so I love it. I'm a little irritated with Bernie because he didn't get back to me early enough yesterday for me to go down and get some reverse stone once I knew that he did in fact have it. So I'm going to try to do that today. If you wanted a strand of 4, 6, 8, and 10 millimeters in the river stone that are not matte, I think it was like, hold on, let me just do the math again. I think it came out to like $25. 7, 7, 5, and 5, $24. So for about $24, you can get a strand of each size. The 4 and 6 millimeter are $5 each. The 8 millimeter is $6.30, and the 10 millimeter comes out to $7. They are full 16-inch strands. And Barney does not skimp on his strands. His strands are oftentimes difficult to ship because I can't like roll them up as well, but I love it. So yes, you have limited time. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, there it is. I was looking for this other thing. I was looking for the other Alaskan strand, but I'm bummed because I wanted to do a his and hers using the river stone and some of the little porcelain beads, but that's okay. They'll be here waiting for me tomorrow when I do. So I thought we could design with the sea sediment jasper, which is a man-made product. They take bits and pieces of like cast-offs that are too small for like chip beads, and things of that nature, and they kind of put them all together and then use like different colors to dye them. And then they ship them out, and you have these beads that have all these different points in it. And I have some that are like brown and turquoise and everything else with their cabochons. So today I need to make sure I can grab this real quick before I save. Today I thought that we would work with those. I just need to find the lampwork beads that I was going to use with them that I know several of you guys snagged from Bargain Bead Boxes sister store. They're the lampwork hearts with like the purple in the middle. Where did I put them? Dang it. Oh, they're there. I pulled them out. I just put them up top so they weren't at my eye level. I was like, I know I pulled those out ahead of time. So I figured we would use those. I happen to have a really pretty large lampwork bead that will go with it perfectly. So let me pull those out. I did get a little bit later of a start, so I still have some other stuff on my bead mat. Actually, I'm going to put you back up for a second so that I can pull Pixie back. So hopefully I'm not out of frame as much because my bead mat isn't pushed up on the desk. Because I tend to work at the edge of it. So anyways. Okay, so let's go back down now. So these are the lampwork beads that I was referring to. They're like hearts with little purple, what looks like tulips to me, but little purple flowers on them. And they're very pretty. I had this in my stash. This is something I got in a scoop from Randy Brown at Thunder Horse Descendants. I need to reach out to her. She's coming back from maternity leave. So some of you ladies that are new to our community will have a lot of fun with her. She's the best. So, and you guys are all going to love her just as much as the rest of us do. So we have these, and then like I said, we would pull out the sediment sea jasper. We also have the elashin agate that I thought we could play with in this. And are you guys ready for the big shocker? I'm doing this as a 2-strand. I very rarely make multi-strand options. I am going to make it convertible though. So hopefully we have enough time to get it all done today. But the lampwork beads have quite a large hole in them, so they can go on leather. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just use a thicker wire. Yeah, maybe I'll just use 18 gauge wire. Oh, I can't string it then. I just think that these purple sea sediment jasper beads really are going to pull the purple in this otherwise clear lampwork bead out nicely. And like I said, I know several of you got these. Yeah, because the leather's going to show through because it's clear. So I would only want to use natural. And I think I only have the natural in 3mm and 1mm. So we'll go ahead and I will use I will show how to use this again to use as a pin, because this one, it actually fits perfectly. But I want to do it with thicker wire because, like I said, there's quite a big hole there. I'll show you a couple of little tips and tricks you can use to take up that space. So I'm going to need, where did I put them? I don't, but I happen to know there's some box right here. I have some little purple seed beads that we can put on wire to kind of take up the space in the bead, but not like mess up the color. So, oh yes, how is he doing? Hi, Rosanna. He's doing good. Mary, you're in my prayers as well as several other ladies here. Your entire family is. If you need to talk to somebody that has no skin in the game, totally judgment-free, loving place, you're more than welcome to call myself, Rosanna, Beth, any of us really would be more than happy to we would be happy to be able to be there for you during this difficult time in your life, even if that is just making tutorial videos so that you have something else to focus on for a while. So, okay. I'm going to demonstrate how to use this. And it's literally just like, instead of a flathead pin, or that's what this is, but wider, a wider base. So I want to, like I said, I want to use a thicker wire. So I'm going to grab the 18 gauge wire to do so. So I'm going to need about, I would guess, 5 or 6 inches to do that. It may be, that may be more than I need, but as Rosanna said just a little bit ago during her video, we'd rather have more than not enough. So just so that those of you who like to keep notes You can see whether or not this was the right measurement. I'm at 4 3/4 inches or 12 centimeters. That is the length of this wire. I am going to cut this end flush. And then I'm just going to take my micro round nose pliers. And I'm going to go further back than the tip, but not by a lot. And that's just so that when I go to feed this wire back through the spiral, there's room to do so. So you're just going to start turning your loop. And then you're just going to kind of start the spiral out. You won't be able to go. Was I completely off camera? I'm glad. I don't know if I was off camera or not. Although I am having a pretty easy time of making that spiral on the round nose plier, I'm not going to be able to do that part though. So I've made 2 full rotations, which just means that the little center wire in there, which popped up for some reason, when I came, come on, there we go. It just means that this wire is at the same point where the spiral started. So right there, that's where we're at on our pliers. I'm going to grab this and hold it across, and I'm going to bend this up and back into the direction where I need it to travel. Okay, sounds so good. Hi, Delon. Okay, I was off frame. All right, let me try. Let me start again. I apologize. I'd hope bringing the mat down would help me do better at that. I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 12 centimeters just because that was the measurement I had already given you guys. So if you're taking notes, I don't want you to have to scribble that out. Start over. Okay, so you're going to grab your pliers. You're going to go down just a bit, and you're going to start your spiral just by going just a little bit. Then you're going to stop after you go just past 1 rotation and grab your flat nose pliers. You can also do it with nylon jaw pliers. You just have to have a pretty good grip. I have a hard time doing it. It always just slips for me. So I prefer a flat pliers. And I'm just going to slowly bend. This one isn't quite round. Until I come back around to 2 full rotations. If I'm too high, if I'm going off camera that way, let me know so that I know where I have to adjust. And then I'm right back at the beginning of where the spiral started. I'm going to hold across the spiral and bend this up and back. You see I turned my pliers parallel with the mat, so that way I'm feeding the wire towards the hole that I'm going to want it to go in. And then I'm going to push this down slowly but surely, like so. I'm going to grab my nylon jaw pliers. I'm going to make sure that it's flat up against it so that when I pull through, it's coming through evenly. I'm going to hold down here for this so that I have the best grip. And I'm going to pull until this is as flat as I can get it. And you can come in with your pliers and do a little squish down if you need to. Pull it tight. And then I pop it up just high enough for my pliers to get up under there. And then I straighten the wire as I come down. And there, you have a little spiral head pin that is large enough that it won't like bang around in here. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these seed beads on this 18 gauge wire. I highly doubt it, but I will try because you never know. Let's see here. Yeah, they're not going to fit. They're not going to fit at all, but that's okay. I have bead tubing that I could put over this, but doing so would create a black line through the center of this. So I'm just going to keep it copper in order to make it easier to turn a loop on top of this. I am going to take one of the sea sediment jaspers. I want a really good dark one to pull the purple in this otherwise clear. So then see how the bead fits right into the beginning of that heart. It does so, and then it makes it much easier to turn a loop because I'm not having to fight with the indentation of the focal bead. So it will also help keep the wire centered within the heart. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. And I can't remember if I said it last night or yesterday morning, but if there are any of you who are new to wiring or want to maybe hone a skill that you feel you would benefit from one-on-one instruction, we can totally do that. It is $40 an hour to do so, but we would both be on video so that it would be like a video call. So I can show you and you can say, wait, what? How did you do that? Can you show me again? Oh, yeah, sure. Did you understand? I can watch you do it and say, oh, this is where the trouble is, that kind of stuff. So that's what private instruction would look like. Okay, I'm going to bend this back at the bead. Actually, I'm not. I want a little bit of space so that when I'm going to go ahead and do a butterfly bail, and I'm going to do it around the first step of my pliers. So I'm just going to come up, over, and down as far as I can go. And then I'll turn my pliers parallel and oops, I will pull them back. I kind of went the opposite way. And then I like to tug my wire to make sure that I got a nice round opening. And then I'm going to open my pliers and I'm going to bring the wire through on the opposite side of the center wire that I did originally. And then I'm going to pull that back behind. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on the other side. And I'm going to pull this. That's going to give us the best shape possible when we go to open it. It also seems like we weren't quite centered there. Hopefully that won't affect it. And then I'm going to go around and I'm going to wrap this up so that it stays, it doesn't move as much. Are two enough, or should I? I'm going to go ahead and go around one more time. Oh, wait, no, this is the back. Yeah, that's the back. Okay. Pull this off my pliers. I'm going to go in and snip this. It's leaning off to one side. I will fix that in just a second. It just got bent a little when I was taking it off. And then I'm going to put one pair of pliers and hold on. And I'm going to slightly bend it out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This loop is a bit smaller, so this is where having the round nose pliers comes in, because I can just adjust one loop or the other. And we call it the butterfly bail because you have two little wings in the front, and in the back it's crisscrossed. So if you prefer the crisscross, you can hold the bail this way as the front of your piece. If you like the butterfly, you can do it this way. I'm still a little bit off center for some reason. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and tuck this last little bit of wire in. It will help keep things where they need to be. It'll be a little bit better. There we go. There we go. Little bit of finagling, but it's okay. Alrighty, then we're going to pull out our beading wire. I have amethyst. I'm just wondering if it's the right color, the right purple. Because see, it's more of like a grape purple, whereas this is more of like a pinky purple. If I had bone, that would be which one I use. I have silver, but that's fine wire. I have the copper. I'll just use the copper. The copper. Okay, so we're going to pull this off. And I want to pull off enough. I have about 22 inches of this wire pulled out. If I don't use it all, you guys all see that I use my scraps all the time. You might even do it per a bracelet. So I like to stick a little bead in the center. This one is not big enough for me to put one of the purple beads in the middle. Plus, it would look weird sitting on top of the other bead. So we're going to put this through our first loop. Put our it's either 2 or 2.5 millimeter spacer bead on. And then I'm going to go through the other side and just slowly pull it into place. That one is not big enough. It looks silly. Well, not silly. It just doesn't look the way I want it. So let's try the 3 millimeter. This must be 2, and that I think is 2.5, but I'm not. I don't have my caliper right here at hand. Okay. I like to go slowly here because I don't want the wire to get stuck and have it kink like it might have just done. Because I didn't pull it all the way forward before I pulled my bead in place. Oh. I didn't put my lip back on like I should have. And I have itty bitty little copper beads trying to escape. Sorry about that. Okay, these are all of the ones that are right here on the edge. I can get the rest of them later, and I'm just going to put a lid on that so we know if we're using it or not. Okay, there we go. I do have a little bit of a kink right here, which I will be able to repair by hanging the piece later, and I'll have a roll of painter's tape. Like I'll string this through a thing of painter's tape, and it will, so the weight will hold it down and allow that wire to relax and go back to the way that we want it to look. Make sure nothing else is right here at hand that I can knock over. I also have the Alaskan Jasper I want pulled out though. I don't know why these are on my desk, but these might be, those are a little too white. I was trying to find, because on the flower here, and then the creamy tones here, it has that like antique copper look. It's like a mix between an antique copper and an antique bronze. So I think I'm going to pull some of these darker copper colored beads out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we can try the purple ones. Okay, I do want a little copper bead on either side. Oh, no, you don't, Heather. We're going to go with the antique. We're going to go with the seed bead. Okay, so I'm going to put, no, it's too close. So let's just go ahead and see what putting one of these on right away looks like. And I think it's going to look okay. Especially since, yeah, that'll be fine. No. Okay, the problem that I'm having is that when it bends up like that, which is what's going to happen when it naturally hangs, you do see a little bit of the wire. So I think I am going to go ahead and use 2 of the little copper beads because those will just, it will look like it's part of the bail. Whereas if we use these copper beads, seed beads, those would be more for the color of the piece itself. So let's see what that did. I think that's gonna be the trick. Yeah, see how it hangs now? You don't really see the wire. It all looks like part of the center bail. So yes, hi Mary Mullins. Hello Tina. Looks like I missed a few. Oh, well, I'm glad that I could show you the butterfly bail. 1 times 1. Can you remind us of your name again? Yes, I'm really looking forward to the beaded tassels as well. I'm so excited. Willow. Cheryl just popped in. Jalon is here. If anybody else remembers the first name of it's Shasta. That's right. Why do I forget that? Everybody pronounced my last name Ashton and my husband's first initials. So that's like mine and my husband's initials put together at the top. Hello, Shasta. Welcome back. I'm happy you're here. Once we get this strung, if you guys want me to show you the butterfly veil again, I can without a problem. So let's see. I can pull in some of the river stone. Maybe if we just go, because I did get my second box. So maybe we just do 3 of the impression jasper with a little seed bead in between. And then we put a seed bead on and we grab the bead caps, which I really want to use as beads, but I wonder if I can just set them back to back. No, they'll have to be glued. It's okay though. So what we'll do instead is we will grab one of our river stones and put that in, put another bead cap on, and then we will do one more run of the impression jasper, and then we'll put on one of the hearts. So it'll be a seed bead. Okay, that one doesn't want to go on. I'm trying to get better at picking stuff up off of my mat with my stringing material, but I don't always succeed at that. Okay, so then we will take this and then we'll put one of these parts on, like so. Yes, that's so pretty. Oh, these are going to be, I'm already envisioning the earrings. So I'm going to put a seed bead and then we'll go back to our purple. And if you see, like if coming up with the full stringing pattern is difficult for you, break it up into sections. Like how did I do this part? What did I want? Were these spacers enough? Or gonna want to go grab other ones out of my stash? That. And then this became a moment because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to just put these back to back and use them as beads without gluing them. And so that didn't work. So then I improvised. And then this is its moment. So you just take little sections at a time rather than trying to envision the entire necklace all at once, because it can get overwhelming. Okay. Then we will put on a bead cap. Another river stone. Where did I put the second? Oh, they're right here. I was like, I left them out. See, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll add some elashing agate. Maybe that will be a complementary strand of beads. I was originally going to do this as a multi-strand, but I don't know. It wasn't coming. It wasn't like I wanted it to be a leather necklace and then like a beaded necklace. But then I realized that the leather wasn't going to look the best in between these clear lampwork glass beads, so I had to pivot. But this is a nice. I love the color of this impression jasper. It's the same color. Here, I want to pull this up so I can show you. It's not the same shade as like the dominant purple color, but it is the shade of the like accent purple. Sorry, one of my dogs is bumping the camera. Ramsey, get out of there. Come here. Mamas, get out of there, please. Then be still if you're not going to listen. I don't know what I was saying. I apologize. It was bumping. Oh, I was going to make it into a double strand, but then I realized that it wasn't going to look good. But that doesn't mean that we can't make a complementary strand out of what I had envisioned. Did I put a seed bead before? Yes, I did. Oh, I like that. I am going to try these on natural, the like natural leather color. I have some purple braided bolo leather, but it's 3 millimeters, so it probably would have fit through this, but it wasn't going to fit through the lampwork beads as well. So, oops. And that's what I mean by you got to do each piece as it comes, like each section as it comes together. Okay, this will likely be the last section on this side, and then we will go do the other side up and see what we think at that point. So we'll do another section with the purple beads, and then we will clip this side so nothing falls off and move to the other side of the necklace. Okay. Hi, hon. Hi, Kelly. Oh, Kelly, I don't know. Rosanna's getting ready to leave the country for a whole month. So if there's anybody that is, she's still taking some with her, but that's not always possible. And it doesn't mean she's necessarily going to use anything, but if anybody feels your pain right now, it would be Rosanna. Luckily, like I said the other day, these bead boxes seem to be complementing each other so nicely. I also mentioned that I kind of want to do a little red robin or round robin. Red Robin's a hamburger restaurant, but a round robin, so that we can introduce other designers to the newbies in our community. And if you yourself would like to come on, you don't have to have a YouTube channel to do so. I just want to have everybody do the Reader's Digest version of their jewelry journey, show off a little bit of their stuff, share links to their social media, Etsy, all of that stuff, just so that we can get to know everybody a little bit better. So, Steve says hi back. Oh, you're such a sweetie, babe. There you go. He's trying to get home as early as possible today because we have somebody coming to look at the last puppy, and it sounds very promising. She has already texted me this morning, so I will reply once I'm done here. I am proud of myself because you've seen the progress as far as things getting more organized and whatnot, so that my shows aren't quiet as discombobulated and like, oh, where did I'm still gonna have issues due to my Derkham's disease with not seeing things that are right in front of me, but finding things from my stash has become easier. So I'm lucky that my husband has been so willing to help me, because then he also knows where things are, so that if I have something I can't find, like my stringing wire yesterday, he knew exactly where he had put it. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Hello, I'm happy to see you here. I saw your message just before I went live, so we'll have to chat later. If you are new and you haven't already heard about our Facebook community, it truly belongs to the community and not just one person. There is a link down below. You will have to answer the questions because it is a way to try to control the number of spam or bot accounts, though we really haven't had many. So the admin team has mostly just had to approve new members. There hasn't been like any other thing to do. You can post all of your information there. You can even post your own pieces for sale. We just ask that if you do so, when you get to the point where you're talking money, exchanging hands. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, let's measure it and see how much chain we need just for the back of the neck area. Not much. We're at 8.5 inches or something very close to that. So, copper wire. Chain. Oh, I didn't. I pulled it out. I forgot. So I had the chain that came in the box, which is just the textured oval chain, and then I have the Figaro chain as well. I wonder if this could be a class. Because if so, it would be a good extension so that if someone wanted it longer, they could make it longer. Oops. It does indeed. Okay. Okay, so Shasta is hers is 1 times 1 EQLSEE6. You've been designing. Oh, then of course. So, if you want to come on, let me know. I would love to have you on. I think I might go with the Figaro chain over the textured. So I think I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the ovals. So I will cut that link there. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it looks like these links might actually open. But I could be crazy. Or both things could be true. I'm not sure. So I'm going to trim one of the ovals. I might need to snip those last two. That way the chain has the same number as links. At least I hope so. No, I cut off one too many on this side. That's okay. I will keep that for later. Alrighty, I'm going to grab out some antique copper jump rings. I also have this, which is just chain I made out of jump rings. I just pulled it out to use it as, I think I might actually use this. Because then it is an extended chain, and I already have a bunch of it made, like a bunch of it. So there we go. Okay, let's make our loops. We'll put on our crimp. So, yeah, they're jump rings. I still don't want to open them more than I have to. Put that through. Grab my crimpers. Center that in the but don't let your beading wire pop out like that. That's what I get for trying to conserve it so much, even though there's not going to be enough length for like a necklace or anything, so, or a bracelet or anything. At least I don't think so. Okay, hold on to that now. Grab it, center it. Make sure you don't get your jump ring. And squish once, rotate it, and swish again. And then, as you know, I have a hard time believing that 2 swishes are enough after the original model of the magical crimper, but it doesn't do. Oh, I might have enough. There we go. No. It'll be enough for earrings, though. Put on the clasp. We will go ahead and attach the chain over here, and then I'll attach the lobster clasp to the top. Okay. Make sure this isn't stiff. It feels a little stiff. I'm gonna, because the center isn't easy to move, so there we go. That's better. Didn't have quite, oh my gosh, I would have been so mad at myself if you didn't see what I just did. I picked up my cutters instead of my magical crimper pliers and almost snipped my wire. These big wings want to try to get right in the way. Go ahead and snip off what's left. Open up one of the top jump rings. Slide the lobster clasp on and close it. Luckily, I have more crimps coming. And just like that, we have a nice little necklace. And I did it in about an hour. That makes me happy. Okay. I'm trying. I think I may use this for the little, no, that's a little bit big. I would need to use this 22 gauge. This is 18 or 20 gauge. Like that. But if I use the scrap piece that I just created and then placed somewhere that I now don't see, but it's fine. If I were to put this with a loop and then have a piece of soft flex that went through with the impression jasper and the little seed beads for like a circle. I think that could be really cute. So let me get some 22 gauge wire to do the bottom part of this so that the spiral isn't quite as big, and we will need 2 of them. So I'm going to cut about 2.5, 3 inches in length here. And then we will grab our micro round nose pliers. Let me move the necklace. We obviously didn't need all of these hearts, but I don't know. I have a complimentary necklace in my brain right now, but it's good to show this again, so that if you're new and are like me and prefer to see a technique done multiple times, then this will help. So you're going to take the tip of your pliers and you're just going to go around until it touches, and then go ahead and go a little bit further just to begin your spiral. Then you're going to grab either chain nose or flat nose pliers, hold on to the spiral, and just use your thumb to move it until you get back to where the spiral started, which I'm right there. And then you're going to put your pliers across the entire spiral and bend the wire up in the direction it's going to need to go to complete this process. Like so. I like to pull it down. It won't be as difficult since this is 22 gauge wire, but I find it easier to have it go down a bit. So, and then I'm just going to grab on and pull through. If the loop isn't as flat on the bottom as you would like, you can just use your pliers to push it down. And then I like to pop mine up, enough room for my pliers to go through, and then I straighten it a bit. Okay. Now, let's do the one for the other pair of earrings. Again, you're just going to grab, not quite right at the tip, but close to for 22 gauge wire. You just needed it to be long enough, or a large enough loop in the middle to feed whatever gauge wire it is you're using to make your spiral. Why does the hole in that one look so big? Hold on, I'm gonna. Yeah, that one's nowhere near as big. I don't know what I did, but I don't like the way that it looks as is. I'll probably turn that into a fuller spiral or something. I'll figure out something. Then again, sometimes you just let it go. All right, in the center, we're going to start winding around. Okay, that's a better size hole. And then I'm just going to slowly push this around by taking little, what I call bites out of it. And then I'm going to put the spiral and the end of the wire where I need it to be to make it easy to thread the wire back through the spiral. And then I like to make sure that the spiral itself is flat up against my nylon jaw pliers before I go ahead and pull that wire all the way through. That looks much better. I don't even need to press down a little loop. It went through just beautifully. Pop it up just high enough to get your pliers under. Straighten out the wire a little bit. Make sure it's centered. All of that. And now you have a little spiral head pin. We're going to put our heart on it. And we're going to put a little bead on top just to help it stay centered, since lapwork beads have such big holes. Plus, because of the heart, it can be a little bit harder to wrap a loop when you have an indentation below where you're wrapping. And then I'm just going to put my pliers there, and I'm going to push back, put my runner's pliers at a 45-degree angle, bend it around and over, down parallel, and back out the other side. I like to pull to make sure I have a nice round shape. And then this I'm going to wrap down until we meet up with the seed bead. And I'll probably go back up to the loop as well. Do just a little bit of a messy wrap, just to give it a little bit of presence, because we made the loop fairly small so that it would look nice on the wire. But we don't want it to just be hidden, and you also want enough space from the loop to make sure that the 8mm bead can fit in there without hitting this. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I hope you can understand what I'm saying, but just in case you didn't, I will show you in just 1 second. It's going to clip off the end of this little wire. Like so. Let's do the other one. Pop the little heart on, and thankfully these little lampwork glass beads are not heavy. So put a seed bead on the top. Create a little loop by bending back, coming around. Pull back. I like to wrap with my pliers. Oops. And then I'm going to rack back up towards the loop. Take out the pliers. It might be a little bit easier to get to it. There we go. And we will snip it off. Tuck in any little pieces. Okay, so what I meant. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Beverly. Oh, please post pictures of Beading Besties. We'd love to see it, Shasta. You need some new flash. Hi, Brandy. Oh, are you leaving? Honey, I just saw you here. Where are you going? I think you will do fine. And like I said, if you ever want just some one-on-one, I am more than willing to do so. Okay, So what I meant by giving enough room is if I would have kept this neck really short, this bead would have hit up against the lampwork bead rather than sitting nicely on top of it. This is actually going to be too small for the earrings. I could probably make it work, but I want those of you who are newer to be able to see exactly what I'm doing. And it would be, it would be finicky to hold it and do it. And have enough space. Let's make sure I'm not cutting that as short. No, I wasn't. Okay, good. So I'm going to use I'm pulling out about 6 inches or so. Let me make sure. Somebody recently told me that they like to take notes. Yeah, I'm at about 6.5 inches on the size of these. I'm going to thread on one of the hearts. I'm going to put on a seed bead on either side, just to kind of go right up against the loop. And then I'm just going to put a purple bead on. And then a seed bead. Okay, I need to pull these down. I don't want to go out of frame up top. I sat here and played with that last night a little bit. And then again this morning to try to make sure that I'm on camera. And I will just keep doing these. Oh, Heather, you brought those. I forgot I had those to the left of me. And I think 4 on either side should be good. But let's see here. And I'm just separating them each with a little bead. Maybe. What do we think? Does it need another bead or is that good for an earring? Because what I think if we put, I'm not going to put a spacer in between these because I was going to, or no, I do need a seed bead in between this last one. Oops. I think because I'm going to cross through the bead with both sides and then create a loop using a crimp bead. So that's what it would be at the end. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to grab myself a crimp. I didn't put it back where it belonged. Oh, here it is. Okay, then I'm going to grab a crimp tube and I'm going to do exactly what I just did with the bead using, I have a block. There's something. There's a little something on the inside of my crimp. Sometimes you can just push it out. No, that's like a sharp bit, I think. Let me see. Got it. And it wasn't sharp, so it's okay. And then I'm just going to pull this first this way so it stays in line. And then we have to have enough room for our crimper to get in there. And then I will grab my magical crimper. Put my crimper in there, get my crimp tube centered. Make sure my loop didn't get too big. And crimp. And then I'm going to turn the crimp ever so slightly and come at it from another angle while still making sure that it's centered. And there we go. We're good to go. We can cut the wire on either side. And I know I have some antique copper ear wires around here because I ordered them specifically so that I would have antique copper ones. So just imagine this on an ear wire, because that's the way it will look when it's actually finished. Put our other heart on. We put seed bead. 4 rounds on this side. And yes, I cut over 1 inch of wire off of both sides of that, but you can see it was not difficult. Like, none of it was difficult to do and do so under camera. So I am good with that trade-off. Because had I used the shorter piece and it didn't work for this specific design, I would have wasted that bead wire and then still had to cut more in order to achieve the look I was going for. So, ooh, I just flipped the seed bead. I don't know where she ended up, but I hope she enjoyed the ride. And then we're going to put a seed bead on top, and then we're going to take one and we're going to crisscross the ends of our wire through the bead. Like so. And then we're going to grab one of our crimp tubes and we're going to do the same thing with the wire. And this is how we're going to make our loop to attach to an ear wire. If my fingers will get out of the way and let me do this. Come on. There we go. Let's get it centered first. And then make it just a tad bit tighter, but I want to keep it even on both sides too. Crimp. And then I'll come in from across the top for the second crimp. And we're good to go. Cut off my ends here. So for those of you that have better dexterity and maybe better with doing beaded pieces like this, you wouldn't need, what did I say, 5 inches of wire to do this. But I'd rather have an easier time of completing the earring than, especially under camera. But there are the earrings. So the coordinating we're at about an hour and a half. Do you want me to keep going? What is simpler for others may be a challenge to others. Exactly. You have to go to help your grandson. All right, sweetie. Have a great day. So I was thinking that a good coordinating necklace for this. Actually, I might wait till I go and get the 4mm river stones, because then I can put those in between. Yeah, I'm going to wait to do the coordinating one for this until I have those stones. Same with the bracelet or bracelets. Because even though I got 2 boxes, the necklace I just made and the earrings, so I might not have much to do. Yeah, so I'm down to the end of it with these, so I need the beads to help space out. But I could make, we have pretty earrings though, and a pretty necklace. And Heather is going to have to buy box extras of the purple impression jasper for the other designs I had in mind. But why don't we tackle these? I know some people weren't necessarily fond of these beads, but I take that as a challenge. So I need to put these scraps back in my Softlex bag. And yes, I'll keep those inch casts off to use as helper strands when I'm using a thinner wire, because the magical crimper is for medium wire, 0.018 to 0.019. So if you're using a finer wire, you're going to need a helper strand at that point. So let's see here. You just want to get started on something. Okay, I understand that, but it may be easier to string beads than doing wire work, surely, especially if you don't have any dexterity issues. Correct. Got you. Okay. You just want to get started on something. All right. Let me go make sure that. Yes, you might want to start with something simpler like stringing. And I know that you were here and you're a beginner, and there are other newbies that have joined. And so that's why I tried to keep this simpler. But I'm going to do my loop video today, I promise, and I will put it up, and it will show you the steps to do a wrap loop, a simple loop, and the hybrid loop. And once you find one of those and that's what you like to use, then it will take from just stringing beads to making it easier for a focal. Now, in this month's box, there is, where did I put them? There were, there are these. There's this, which is on a bail. So yes, you would not have to do any wire work to use this at all. You could string this on directly. And that would be easier. I would just recommend that you have some smaller beads. Oops, my bail is not locked in where it's supposed to be. There we go. Just make sure that you have a bead either under or on both sides so that it's not wearing on your beading wire because it's keeping it up off of the wire itself. And what I mean by that is, so this kind of pendant would make it easier for you to just start with stringing immediately. And you wouldn't need to know how to do like a wire. Hey, Quinn, please stop. This is what I mean. So see how it sets under there so that the bail isn't hitting the wire at all. Then you can go directly into stringing. If you don't like this large bail, you could attach it using a jump ring and just use a smaller, like a seed bead, in order to do it. Or you can put so many seed beads on your wire that will go under that bail and do the same thing. Yes, and bracelet sizing can be challenging because the size of a bracelet is not the length of a bracelet 75% of the time. If you're stringing using small beads, just having the length would be okay. But that's why I have these, because the bracelet just slides on and it will tell you what size you're at simply by doing that. I'm going to do a couple of ways with this. I'm going to do, let's go ahead and do a stretch bracelet with this, and then I'll do another one on wire after all. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of the end of my stretch band. I just have it on my my little tool caddy thing. So this is 1 millimeter stretch cord. The most important part of a stretch bracelet, well, there's two. One is you need to pre-stretch your stretch magic or whatever stringing it is out that you're using. Just don't let go of it like that from start to finish, because you see this is what size it is expanded, doubled over. So it stretches out quite a bit to begin with. And you want to do this so that, because if you just do it on the stretch cord when you very first cut it, then it can have a tendency to sag and will need to be restrung. Also, if it's gonna break, you want it to break while you're doing this. So, hi, Lynn. I hope it went well. Oh, that'll be fun, Gracia. Okay, so the second thing, the second thing is you want to have a bead with a larger hole, and that's where we're going to hide our knot. So I have these here. I'm gonna try, let me see. I have these. I think I don't think the spacers. I don't know. Rosanna, do you think the spacers in this box are big enough to hide a hole in, or is that too small? Actually, I'll just grab one that I know they'll fit in so it's not confusing. And maybe we'll play with some of these little crystals too. But let's just start with a simple stretch bracelet with beads and maybe some metal components, put like some metal beads put in. You just need one with a larger hole to go through. Okay. So I want to start by color blocking, and it seems like some of these have a lot more color than others. I thought maybe there were like plain ones and patterned ones in each color, but it might just be that some don't have as much color as others. These would look beautiful in between. Oh, if I would have remembered those. So these darker ones would have looked beautiful interspersed between these rounds. That would have been really pretty, actually. I didn't already have them set aside for something else. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if Bernie has purple impression jasper. What time is it? They're open. Let me find some antique copper spacers that have a larger hole. Um, I'm just gonna go here. There. Whoa. I have these that have a little bit of a larger hole that we can use. So we will use that. And all we're gonna do, like I said, is color block these beads. So I'm gonna grab 3 of the green, maybe. And I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to do 5 of each color, and then I'm going to put a metal bead on. And then I'll go to the next one, and I'm going to put 5 beads on. The only one I'm kind of about is the yellow. I know it'll go. I'm just not as fond of it as the purple, the turquoise, and the like creamy color. But that's okay, because just because it may not be something I would gravitate towards, that does not mean that I won't come across a customer that will see this and just fall in love with the color combination together. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I'm not saying that. But that's why I like to encourage people to use beads even if they personally don't like them, because sometimes that's the first piece that sells and you're like, wait, what? or even somebody you're making a gift for. Okay, then we're going to go back to the teal, and we should be able to get 2 passes of each color, or at least that's what I'm hoping. I should probably measure this, so I at least have an idea of how long this is. It's just under 4 inches. That's where we're, yeah, we should be good. And you could make these sections smaller, obviously. You could make each section 4 or 3 if you want to do a smaller size bracelet. You could use smaller metal bead, spacer beads. That's the word I'm looking for. The purple was yellow and then white. And then we'll see if I made it too long or too short once we get to the end here. Oops. I must not have pulled out enough of them. This is a moment where my brain is likely not registering something that's right in front of me because I don't. There they are. I don't know why I didn't take out. Why I only pulled one out when I knew I was going to need another one to close out the bracelet. So then we'll just crisscross the elastic in this, and this is simply for measurement, not anything else. And I'm going to hope this isn't a ridiculously long bracelet. Oh, but so nope, it's at 7 inches, so we're good. Okay, we're not going to leave it crisscross through there. We're just going to leave it on one side. Now, everybody, I'm stretching again just to be safe. Quite a few of us knot our stretch cords differently. So, like with everything else, I recommend that you go and watch at least 2 other, if not 3 other content creators do a stretch bracelet because we all knot differently. So the way I do it is this. I fold over and I do the first part of the knot. And I pull it taut, but not tight because it will buckle your beads and then you won't be able to tie them well. Then the second part, I go through once and again twice. And then I kind of pull that down and I pull from both directions. So I pulled the knot this way and this way. Then I'm going to crisscross them underneath the bead and do the second part of the knot again. So I'm going to go through once and then twice and pull that. And then again, I'm going to pull it this way and that way. And you will see that that knot went from quite a bit bigger to much easier to manage just from stretching both sides. Then you're going to want to put some glue on your knot. Not everybody does. I do. You're going to want to use GS Hypo or some other type of glue that dries more rubbery. That way it the glue will still move. If you use super glue, it can crack and break your plastic. Your stretch cord, so you want to be careful. And then you're just going to put some glue. Now, the GS Hypo has a metal needle. You do not want to touch that to the stretch cord itself. Just let the glue drop out of it onto, I hope you can see this, onto the knot itself. And then I will slide that inside that. I'll trim that in just a second because I have glue going everywhere. Oh, come on, go back in there. I have the light color. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that in a second because that takes way too long. Okay, so once it's in there, you can come in and trim your excess cord. Oh, well, I obviously hit the knot on accident. Yep. I literally cut the knot. So see, it's not, it happens to all of us. I've made so many stretch bracelets. I haven't had that happen in goodness knows how long. There we go. Let that glue off. We will restring that because now I can't think of the other thing I was going to show. So, sorry about that. I haven't done that in forever. So, we will just. So, no, if nothing else, it happens to all of us. So, don't be too hard on yourself when things like that happen. Don't let it get to you. Because there's nothing you can do about it in a situation like that when it happens. I prefer live video so that you guys can see when I make a mistake and how I fix it. In this case, the only way to fix it is to restring the bracelet. So that's what I'm going to do. And it won't take much time. I do have glue on my hand. Ugh. but they didn't. I know it looks like it may have burnt, but no, that's from the residue from the copper wire, like strengthening out the copper wire between my fingers. That's what that's from. I'm allergic to adhesive. I don't want anybody to think that GS Hypo will burn you, because it won't. I'm allergic to adhesive. I don't want anybody to be scared to use that. So I want to clarify. And no, I didn't have my silicone fingers on Leah. And the good thing is that we all have, most of us have our own channels and can show and demonstrate elsewhere, to give you more than one perspective. But I saw that and I thought I only put the right number of, I was afraid I hadn't put the right number of purple beads for a second. But I had this on, stretch it. Okay, and then we'll show the knot one more time. So I just do kind of like when you're tying your shoelaces. That's how I like to start. Second time around, I go through twice, otherwise known as a surgeon's knot. I pull my knot into place, and then I pull the knot in both directions at the same time to make sure that my knot stays. Then I go underneath, crisscross underneath, and do another surgeon's knot, just like so. Pull that into place, and then pull it from northeast, south, and west. Then I'm just going to reglue it. Put that little drop on, set it down. The residue on my finger from the copper wire was what was making it difficult to see where I need to go. And then I'm gonna clip this out in the open instead of being silly and putting my cutter inside that bead. So there you go, quick and easy, especially if you don't have to string it twice. But it's a really nice stretch bracelet. That's how I do my knot. Oh, honey. Yeah, it could be a while, but you never know. You may just pick this up much faster than you think you will. So just tell yourself that you're going to be successful, and make sure that that you speak kindly to and about yourself throughout the learning process, because it's much easier to get defeated if you're talking to yourself in a derogatory manner while you're learning and creating, because if all you keep hearing being said to you inside is, damn, I can't get this. Oh, why can't I get this? Then you may give up and not discover a talent that you had all along. So I recommend, if I could, doing the variation of that link the other day, if you knew just how much wire I went through figuring out the right measurements, the best way for it to look, just how like having to go through and do it multiple times just so that I could remember the steps, and was confident enough that I would be able to go through the steps with all of you. So it's a lot. But like I said, that's why I like to do things live, because then you can see how I come back from a mistake or something like cutting my stretch cord right at the knot so that it came out. But that's a really good, easy stretch bracelets are a nice, easy thing to begin. And then of course stringing. So, but I can go over some more of that with you tomorrow if there are things. And obviously, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Messenger, or look me up in the Beading Besties group and tag me in a post, and I will be there for you. Heather, what sizes River Rock does Bernie have? He has it in 4, 6, 8, and 10. He also said that he has some alternate shapes as well as some pendants in the river stone. So if you want some, let me know. I will go down there. I'm going down there today. I want to make sure there's nothing. She just started making. Yeah, she hasn't even been doing it for a year yet. So don't get down on yourself. Yes, please don't be too critical of yourself. Please don't, because it will keep you from realizing things. So, yeah, he has it 4, 6, 8, and 10, and he also has stuff. I get my stackers from Hobby Lobby. They have them in this size, and this size. To get one of each, it costs $3.50, and most bead boxes will fit into that. They also have them so that they're just like in a box all stacked up, and then they also have this box full of them that is like $5.50. There are 6 of them in here. It's the same price as if you bought the things, but 2 of the 6 stackers have this one that's bigger on the bottom, and the bottom cups are flat. So typical stackers, you could keep stacking on top of each other. That's not the case with these. It does make this looks small, but I promise it's the exact same size as the other stacker in this size. They're exactly the same size. as far as how many pieces they'll hold. And then you have this that you can close up. Though Leah gave me an idea, and I'm probably going to take it, and I'm going to take one of these and turn it into like findings so that there's plenty of room for my head pins, different sizes, whatever. And then I'll just put these stackers in with the rest of mine. So I'm thinking about doing that. But this is the same price as it is to buy 6 of the small stackers. These are 99 cents. I believe the big one and the small one are 99 cents, and then the medium size is $1.50 or something like that. But yes, that's where I get all of mine from. My loving husband, when our near stores run out, he will look up Hobby Lobbies on his route home from work and grab me stackers from one of those Hobby Lobbies when he knows that I really need them. So he's a sweetheart like that. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to make sure. They're 16 inches, Cheryl. Exactly, Beverly. I completely agree. Do not hide your designs. That is one of the things that, like, I had women reach out to me saying that no one in their life even knew that they made jewelry. And they had them, and I didn't understand why. So I was very encouraging, and you don't know how rewarding it is for some of those women to now have channels. Getting a call at 9:30 at night and having someone tell me, oh my gosh, they liked my bracelet but needed a different gemstone. I just got my first custom order and I just started my Instagram account, whatever. If you have an idea in mind for what you would want your business called, go and start a Facebook page, a Facebook group, an Instagram account, an email account, all of that with your name now, because you want to make sure that they're all available for when you are at a point and you are ready to sell, and you wouldn't want somebody to take that name from you. So just like a little heads up real quick. Oh, then you teach too. You're sweet. The 4mm are $5, the 6mm are $5, 8mm are $6.30, and the 10mm strands are $7, Cheryl. Sorry. Yes, and I can go. Rosanna and I have very similar ideas as far as pricing goes for us. You want to value your time. So you'll need, like, at the beginning, my hourly rate was $20. Now it's $40 an hour because I have more scale. My pieces are better, all of that. And then the easy way to do it is to multiply the supplies you use by 2.5, and then add in your hourly rate on top of that. So that's the quickest, easiest way I can say it. But yeah. And there are people that, Cassie, have fun with it. Have fun with us. Nobody here is going to try to make you feel stupid. Nobody here is going to be like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? Like, that's not going to happen. Any one of us can reach out. And if there are things that you just want to learn that wouldn't take long for me to teach you, I wouldn't charge you for a whole hour, obviously. And if it's just to get you to where you are comfortable, so that you can make loops, which will open your world up, I can do so. But yes, you can buy pendants that already have a bail on it or have a hole that you can just string through, things of that nature. Absolutely, you can. You can just start it that way. So today, you may have learned to string a stretch bracelet. Go back and watch some of my other videos. I do a faux clasp version of this, that make it look like you use a clasp to put it on, but it's a stretch bracelet. So there's lots of things that you can do, and it'll be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, I have planned tomorrow to come down to do a his and her set using the hand painted porcelain beads. So that'll be something interesting to see, like, just how, like, there's not nearly as big of a difference in women's and men's jewelry as you would think. So, and then just keep watching videos, hon. Watch me in double speed. I tend to ramble on. Watch me in double speed until I actually get to the part where I'm demonstrating what it is you're wanting to learn. But anyways, ladies, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for being so welcoming to new people that watch our channels in the comments, especially when we're kind of in the zone as far as creating. I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, and as always, guys, happy beading.